Howdy, Desert Boy here. I just wanted to do a quick range impressions and report. I like to do it the same day that I go to the range if I can. I used to like to do it right after I left the range, but range I'm going to now, it's not really the best place to be sitting there doing that, but it's not a bad place. It's just I don't feel as comfortable doing that. Anyway, we're talking about, of course, this Smith & Wesson 686, and we can see that it's empty and it's been to the range now, so it's got a little bit of dirt on it. But the 686 plus a 2.5 inch performance center revolver. One of the things I'll say is that I do really like it. It fits my hand well. I like the trigger pull and things on it. Right out of the box, when I'm shooting 357 Magnums right off. I shot very well at 7 yards with 125 grain Sig Sauer FMJ. Had good grouping. Then I shot right behind that 125 grain jacketed hollow point Sig Sauer, and those are both Elite Performance. And then I realized, because I have some kind of fingerless gloves that I wear sometimes when I'm shooting. Like I started off, and of course not knowing how it would be with the 2.5 inch barrel. I was wearing those. I said, well, you know, when I'm actually shooting it, or if I have to use it, I'm not going to be wearing those gloves, because I just kind of walk around with them on all the time, unless I'm doing certain kinds of tasks in the winter or something. I try to keep my hands a little bit warm. Yes, it gets cold here in the desert. Yes, very much it does. So anyway, overall, most of the different sessions I shot were pretty good. I probably shot roughly, I'll have to count, but somewhere in the neighborhood of about 70 or 70 plus 357 Magnum rounds a day, along with about 30 or 35 more 38 special than 38 special plus P, but about 30 to 35 of those rounds, so well over 100 rounds. Right now, with the ammo being what it is, it's just not that easy to just burn through a lot of 38 357s. It's very hard to find. I just happen to have self-defense ammo that I had on hand to try was 38 special plus P, Speer LE, which was pretty good. I did shoot some of that. In 357 Magnum was a Sig Sauer Elite Performance 125 grain jacketed hollow point, and also the Speer Gold Dot short barrel 125 grain hollow point as well. And both of those performed well. The one thing I noticed, I do have a little bit of I actually had like some gloves on because I was going to use some rental guns and stuff, and I'm in a town with a lot of visitors, so I kind of didn't really want to be handling them without, so I had actually like nitro gloves on with my fingerless gloves. But I actually, just having the nitro gloves on, I did get a blister here, so obviously I'm going to need some, probably be looking at Altamont or some other grips in wood for that, and probably a set of Hogue type of grips as well. But overall, I mean, it wasn't totally unpleasant to shoot. It was, you know, what you should expect with Magnums. I thought for the 2.5 inch barrel, it handled them well. Everything was not perfect, though. I will say that. I got through quite a few rounds of 357 and even shot some Sellier and Bellot, I think it is, 158 grain jacketed hollow points and so forth, and shot some Magtech 38 special lead round nose, which was shot very well. A little dirtier. It kind of dirtied up the gun a little more than some of the jacketed rounds, semi-jacketed rounds. And I even shot some 180 grain Remington HTP high terminal performance semi-jacketed hollow points. And those shot really well. I shot them at about, I think it was 10 yards. I was going to go to 10, 15 and 20, but I just decided to kind of, you know, it was getting towards the end of the day and I was kind of tired of shooting Magnums. But anyway, they were very right on. I mean, it handled them fine. You know, I was not disappointed at all. So overall, the gun was good. A couple of things did come up. I shot 7 rounds with the moon clips just to see how they were to shoot them. I did have a couple of issues come up. One of the issues that came up, I saw another video, another YouTube review on this particular gun that was done by Beretta 9mm USA, where they had some issues with some light primer strikes, and I think the gun went back to Smith Wesson. I think that's where it is now when I've been following their channel. I did have actually 2 light primer strikes, and one of them on the second go round of it, it fired, but one of them did not, and it was with the Sig Sauer 125 grain full metal jacket. I did not have that issue with any other ammo, and I did shoot more rounds of certain ammos. I shot, of course, that particular full metal jacket probably the most. I probably shot, I don't know, 25 or 30 rounds of that. And I probably shot close to that out of 38 specials. And I didn't have any issues with any of the other ammos, but I did with that, or with the jacket at hollow point. So I would have to go back and check, but I think that might have been the ammo that had some light primer strikes in their videos, but I'd have to go back and look. Of course, the way to really, you know, play us out is I would have I'd go back to the range again. I'd buy a couple hundred rounds of probably each kind of ammunition that I like to shoot. Maybe take about 600 rounds down there, or at least 100 of each one of FMJs and 2 or 3 brands, and shoot them just to see if I have any more, because obviously in a defense situation you don't want to have a light primer strike, because this could be terminal for you. So other than that, I didn't have any problems with any of the others. I did like the way that the FMJ Sig Sauer Elite Performance and the jacketed hollow point shot very, very similar. So if you're using your target ammo, it's not much different than your jacketed hollow point ammo. However, because I did have that with the one type of ammo, I probably resolved that if I was going to go ahead and carry it at this point, I would probably use the short barrel 125 grain Speer Gold Dot short barrel hollow points, Gold Dot hollow points. So they're a little bit, they're not quite as, I think they're a little bit less foot per second. I'll have to look it up when we go through and I'm making the video. I think the other ones are about, I want to say they're like rated at about 1250, 6 hours are. I know the, I believe the Gold Dot ones from Speer are about 990, so they're not quite as, it's not quite as robust on there. It's plenty good, and you're probably getting that pretty close to that out of this because it's rated for short barrel. Anyway, I'm rambling, but anyway, I wanted to let you know that, and also as I got about the middle of my shooting session, it was like, particularly when I was shooting Magnum loads, I almost felt like it could be how I'm pulling the trigger. I was kind of stacking the trigger, and instead of just pulling right through it, which I really should be doing more with double action. And it seemed like sometimes it kind of wanted to almost hang up a little bit. Now, I didn't have that in the later part of the session with other rounds, but it was kind of in the middle somewhere. I don't know if it was because I was getting tired and it was how I was pulling the trigger or not. I'm going to have to follow up on that. I shot a few rounds in single action, especially with the 180 grains. That was fine. Accuracy on the 180 grains was very good. I'm going to have to, I didn't know if it was when I was firing it, because it is cut for moon clips, if when I'm kind of shooting it like that and slower or something, if it's not causing the rounds to move back a little bit and bind against between the cylinder and the back part of the gun, interior part of the gun, to make the cylinder hard to come around when I'm stacking it. So I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of examine that a little closer and see if that's true or not. And I'm going to have to shoot more with the moon clips to see if there's more of a difference between the two. But once again, that's going to require more ammunition to be available. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. So basically, bottom line, very accurate, good shooter. Probably needs a little bit of improvement from the standard grip. So just to sum it up, basically, I really like the 686 Plus. Shot very well right from the get-go. I have to go back and confirm whether or not it's just an ammo problem with the light primer strikes for one type of ammo, and then I need to kind of double check about possibly there might be some cylinder binding somehow, or is it just my way of pulling the trigger where I'm trying to stack it more than just pulling through it. So that's a basic summary. Overall, when I can put more rounds through it, then I'll be more confident in it to make it my everyday carry. Thanks a lot. As Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now.